Hello everybody, this is Bob Probst from the Probst Law Firm in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Today is Wednesday. I am coming live here on Facebook with you for another version of our live Facebook on Wednesdays at 4. Today, as you can see, I'm actually sitting in my car, and today's topic is mediation in family law cases in North Carolina. And interesting enough, the reason I'm coming to you from my car today is because I just finished a mediation for a client in a family law case here in North Carolina. So it's kind of interesting today that the topic is mediations, and I just finished one. I know I'm about 15 minutes late on this live talk, but that's because I literally just walked out of the office where the mediation was completed. So for those of you who don't know, in North Carolina, if you are going to file a custody action, you must mediate that custody action before you can go to trial and have a judge decide. In all the counties in North Carolina, there is a sort of a court paid for mediator who will work with the two of you to try and see if you can resolve the custody issues. And if you can, then they will enter what's called a parenting agreement that will be signed by each of you and also by the judge. That program that's run by the state is free to the litigants. So here's how it works. You file your complaint for custody. Maybe your spouse files a counterclaim for custody. When you file your complaint, you must sign each party up for what's called custody mediation, for an orientation. Then each of you would go to that orientation where you'd meet the mediator, who would tell you what it is the mediation program does and doesn't do, how it's conducted. And then that mediator would pick a date for the two of you to come back, meet with the mediator, and see if you can resolve the custody issues. If you are able to resolve the custody issues, then again, he or she would put it in a parenting agreement, and a judge would sign it, and then the case would be over. You wouldn't have to go to trial. If you're not able to settle it with the parenting agreement at mediation, then he will report to the court that there's an impasse, and then you will be able to put it on for a hearing with a judge. In this particular case today, the parties did that, but they were not able to resolve it. They did it some months ago, and they were not able to resolve it, so they thought, fine, we'll just go to court. Well, that thinking was probably pretty good about 4 or 5 months ago, but then COVID hit. And as we all know, the courts have been shut down for a number of months, and now even though they're opening back up in a limited basis. It's harder for you to get a court hearing. It may take months longer for you to get a court hearing, because now not only are the courts opening up and they have to go and look at the cases that were on months ago, but they got all these new cases that they got to try to put on the docket. They limit the number of people who can be in the courthouse. They limit the number of people who can be in the courtroom. That limits the number of cases that can be heard. And so everything is slower. So prior to COVID, you may have been able to get in and have a hearing within, say, 2 or 3 months. It's probably 6 or 8 months now, or maybe even longer. So in this case, what we decided to do was go to a private mediation where the parties, through their attorneys, picked a mediator, usually a lawyer who has a mediation practice and a private practice. And the difference between the mediation that they get through the court system and the private mediation is that in this case, the attorneys were present for it as well. So the attorneys could help guide their clients through the mediation process along with the mediator. So practically speaking, how that worked in our case today is the mom and her attorney were there. I was there with my client, the dad, and the mediator was there. We met together in the beginning just to talk about what mediation is or isn't, to talk about how it would work, and to reiterate that we're trying to get to a resolution if we can. Then we split up in different rooms, and the mother and her attorney were in one room. Me and my client were in another room, and then the mediator would go back and forth. The advantage to this is it allows you to work through it with your lawyer and with the mediator. It allows you to be able to talk about what you want to talk about, what's important to you and why, and then allows you to sort of go back and forth to try to see if you can reach a resolution. We started this morning at 9 o'clock. We worked through lunch and we completed it at about 4 o'clock. However, what it means is now the clients don't have to wait 4, 6, 8 months, whatever it may be, to get to court. And they're able to get this case put behind them now. We took the time to type it up into a formal order, and tomorrow we'll run it by a judge who will sign it, and then this case will be finished for these folks. They ended up getting about 50-50 custody of the children, which was a big improvement from where they were when they went and talked with the court order mediator. Also, the court order mediator can't deal with child support or issues like that, whereas in private mediation we could. So we're able to get child support knocked out as well. And in the end, both clients left feeling maybe not like they got everything they wanted, but feeling comfortable enough that they got most of what they wanted, and the system worked. The mediation worked. Instead of paying attorneys for additional hearings, and instead of paying attorneys for additional discovery, they were able to get together in one place where both the clients are focused on a resolution, the attorneys are focused on a resolution, and the mediator is focused on a resolution. They were able to get it resolved. Now, they did have costs for this. This private mediation cost them the hourly rate for the mediator, split in half between each party. But they spent way less than they would have at 1 day in trial, much less 2 or 3 days in trial, much less if you set it for a hearing and you travel and it doesn't get reached, and you sat around the courthouse all day hoping it got reached, which your client is paying you for. And then you go back to your office and you have to set another hearing come another day. So in the end, although the clients paid some money today, it was probably much less than they would have paid if they hadn't resolved it. So it ended up being a win-win-win for everyone. Mediation settles, I think they say about 90% of the cases that go to mediation settle, and that's a good thing. Again, it gives you your opportunity to have your say. It gives you the opportunity to be able to get the points across that you want to get across, but it also gives you the opportunity for you as clients, along with your lawyers and along with the mediator, to craft a settlement or a resolution that's best for your family, best for your children, best for your situation, given your work schedule, given your spouse's work schedule, given your children's ages, given your children's school schedules. It allows you guys who know your family unit better than anyone else involved in the case to try to get some resolution. And when it works, then it's good for everyone. So in this case, it took us 7 hours, but we were able to resolve what would have taken many days of trial. So I'm happy for my client. To be honest, I'm happy for the other side as well, because they were able to get it resolved. I am a mediator as well. So I believe in the mediation system. But I think everyone ought to take as great advantage of it as they can when they're in litigation. A mediator can't make you do anything. They're not a judge. They can't order you to do one thing or another. They just help you figure out what's important to you and figure out ways to get from point A to point B in a way that is helpful to you, helpful to your spouse, helpful to your kids. So that's the live today, on the Wednesday live today on mediations in North Carolina. If you got any questions about that, call me at 336-721-9090. Go to our website at probestlawfirm.com or shoot me an email at bob@probestlawfirm.com. In the meantime, everybody stay safe. Wear your mask, and peace to everybody. Thank you.